What's going on, guys? Welcome to this week's video. I'm Rhett, not Steve, and today I'm going to show you something a little unusual. I'm going to get Stevie P behind the camera. I'm going to show you what I bought. I don't know if this was a good purchase. Trying something different here. No 350Z, no 370Z, no Mustang, no Beamer. I went for something a little bit different. I think most of the boys were like, eh.
First of all, where's the 86? You sold the 86 for a Genesis? Are we gonna call the cops?
Hell no. The Corolla's taking a little break right now. It's up at Chris. You'll see some videos on that. We're just painting the bay while the engine's out because obviously everything kind of just snowballs. So while that thing is getting glamorized by Chris, picked up this bad boy.
And why?
Honestly, like, I just wanted to get more of a like street seat time car kind of thing. Everyone has these seat time cars and something simple. I've had one of these cars before in the past.
You've had a few of these cars, haven't you?
Yeah. And they're okay. Like, I've honestly been fortunate. I've never had bad luck with them, but I know they've got some issues and whatnot. But they come up cheap. Typically you can find them cheap. I'm just trying to recreate a Z, kind of like a C times Z, see if it works. I know in the States they're not as common. It seems like they're really common in the GTA. So like where we're from in Ontario, these cars sold pretty well. So there are quite a few V6s kicking around. And one of the reasons why we're doing it is because there's a lot of hit ones. There's a lot of crashed ones. So parts are pretty plentiful. You can literally go on Facebook right now and I can find a bunch of crashed or blown up ones, which seems to be the narrative. So we're hoping this one doesn't blow up.
Most of the blown up ones are 2 liters though, right? This is not a 2 liter?
Okay, so I used to think that way. I used to think a lot of the 2 liters were like more prone to blowing up, but I think just every Hyundai in this era from like 2010 to 2016 has what it seems like has bearing issues. It seems like the 2 liters rod knock, the 3/8 like these rod knock eventually. I think what it actually is maybe the discrepancy between the two, because they got to a certain point where you could find a 2 liter for like $4 or $5 grand. So I think the type of person that ended up picking one of those up secondhand were just beating the Christ out of them. Whereas maybe the 3/8 were a little bit more expensive at the time. By all means, I don't know these cars actually that well. I've never really tinkered with them all that well. I've just driven one. Any Genesis coupe guys out there, you guys can let me know if this is a terrible idea. I see a tons of stuff on the forums. So maybe it's a terrible idea.
Engine making knocking noise.
Yeah.
All right, so what's the dealio on this?
Quick and dirty, it's just a 3/8 R spec. There's like a premium GT pack kind of thing. But this was just like basically their like weird track model. So it literally comes with nothing, actually. If you paid for one of these, it's kind of silly. They don't have sunroof, they don't have heated seats. It's all manual seats and whatnot. But it came with Brembos and it came with an LSD, and that's really all you need. I picked it up for like almost like $6K basically, and which is dumb cheap for one of these. This is a 2016, so it's the last year of these cars. Not in bad shape, but it was just like really dirty. So like I picked it up from like a used car dealer and they just wanted to get rid of it.
Which is shocking because like anytime you go to a shadier car, like a real budget low used car dealer, it's always bad news.
The sawdust quiets the ears.
But like I am shocked how good a shape this thing is in.
Everyone remembers Hyundai and Kia in the early 2000s. Like they were straight trash. And these aren't far from that. They look a lot nicer. The engines are a little bit better. But everyone I've seen, like, there are some big pitfalls with these cars. I was really skeptical going up to see it. I thought I would just, because it was going far. It had one really fun thing that was really sweet, that sweetened the deal in the glove compartment. They didn't know anything about it. They just wanted to get rid of it because they weren't sure what it needed for safety and whatnot. But the one thing that was in the glove box kind of hit him with the owner's manual, but like they didn't even know about it. Basically, as you can see there, it had a whole new engine. It had like a full long block basically. It blew up, as do all of these seem to blow up. And it had a full new engine by Hyundai, or I should say just long block. So, which is a big deal. And it had a whole new clutch at like 140,000 K. It's got 200,000 K on it now. Not that that changes anything. It just kind of gives you a little reassurance if we're going to be beating on this thing, which I certainly will be.
But you got a $6,000 car with
Yeah.
60,000 kilometers on a brand new motor and a new clutch. And it's uncrashed and really objectively a nice vehicle.
Yeah, 100%. So we'll see. The whole goal of this is kind of, like I said, a street time, like seat time street kind of car, not drifting on the street, but more so something you can take to the track with tires, just put fuel in it and roll. Will it be that? I don't know. Will it be as good as like a Z or a 330 or like a 328 that Steve had? So that's the idea. It's simple. Like we're not spending a ton of money at it. Just simple setup and something like easily recreatable, I think. All the Gen guys can help us out in the comments and tell us what kind of the go-to tried and true setups are, but it seems so far that the one area that I'm gonna struggle on a little bit is like it's not like an S chassis where there's an in-between market for angle kits. Like this, it's either our boys at FDF, which that kit looks insane, or nothing basically. For me, I kind of want something just in between that's a little bit more streetable. So I'll keep digging and see what we can come up with. This is all new, so yeah.
Fuck around and find out.
100%. Hopefully don't find wrong now.
This is like the Beamer of 8 years ago. Like this is why I bought my Beamer. There was a ton of them and they were dirt cheap.
I'll share with you guys kind of the parts list of what I'm going to throw at it. It's not a lot. Obviously, we'll just do the basic stuff. Right now, we just got to do some basic maintenance. Obviously, we just bought this thing, so brakes look okay.
So clutch feels mint because it's only got 60K.
Clutch feels good, but right now I've just got some plugs, some oil, some coolant for it. Handbrake does not work at all.
No.
So we got to figure that out. ABS light is on. I checked that already. It looks like a wheel speed sensor. Just got to figure out what side. It looks like front left. Hopefully that's the case. Hopefully it's not like a module or something. This is an LSD car, so I think what we're gonna do is pick up a diff and just weld it, find an open. That's basically it. That's a lot of talking.
I guess let's put some plugs in her. You have had more Genesis coupes than anyone I have ever met, though.
I guess, but it's not like the Corolla where like I can tell you what the millimeter size of is everything. Yeah, but it's just because I haven't really worked on them that much.
Dude, look at this thing. Also, it's worth noting 3.8s are direct injected in 2016.
So BK1 would be 2010 to 12, and then from 13 up BK2, and that's just a front end change you see. Otherwise, the cars are really similar. I think it's like a front end change and the lights changed, but 2 liter was a dog from 2012 down. And then with direct injection, it went from like 210 to 275, which I think a lot of the newer 2 liters are actually pretty nice. Whereas these, they just changed a little bit. I think crank horsepower, it went from 300 to 330.
Ooh.
On the dyno, I think most of the 12 down 3.8s make like 250 wheel on a dyno or 240. Whereas these, I think like 270, 280 wheel on a dyno is kind of where they're at. Not crazy, but kind of Z. Like think 350, 370.
Yeah, I mean they're definitely big girls.
These things I think are like 33 to 3,600 pounds. Who knows what this thing weighs? Is like because they're obviously different configurations, so this might be on the high end of that. But we could borrow some scales and we could weigh it. It'd be pretty neat to see, just for all the guys out there, see what it actually weighs.
Let's change out the plugs in this thing, get some fresh ones in. What do we got to do?
Take off and coil packs off.
Like that off?
As I understand, I think the full intake has to come off. But
all right,
we'll see what's up.
All right, so we got the intake off here, and well, we got the top of the intake off. Not surprisingly, she's oily. Ooh, oh, look at the oil. Oh boy.
That's that new car life.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of oil. Let's just take a look at how bad the valves are. I mean, 60,000 K, my truck was horrible after 180. It was direct injected as well.
Well, I mean, the valves, well, maybe.
You see the back of the intake. Our intake valves have seen some oil and are pretty not awesome, but I don't think we're gonna worry too much about that. The amount of oil and stuff going in here is really rough. This was not as bad as my truck. All right, so this is piston number 6. Well, front left. It seems to be okay. Nothing crazy in there. Turtley looking pattern on the piston. Insides of those are mighty oily.
Yep. The joy of new cars and PCVs, dude. How did we kill the battery? Woo! We didn't break it. Woo! All right.
Doesn't sound bad. All right, so we did not break it on the plug change. It's time to go take this big girl for a little rip.
So definitely something that probably we need to deal with is a tune, because as I touch the brake and try and get on it, it'll limp the car. Like it immediately will kill the power. So something to do. Just I guess that's probably a really common thing for Hyundai guys that I know, but yeah. I guess the way around it is just like you just go back on the throttle quickly, but
Still though, like if your left foot braking in a corner, you can't.
yeah, that's gonna be annoying, especially in tandem. Not that this is gonna be a tandem rig, but yeah, definitely something to know. All right, Steve's out for his first rip in the Genesis. Thoughts?
Well, I feel really tall in it.
Yeah, you look kind of a little big in this.
Everything's really low, but like it's got balls. Like I think it'll be a really good drift car. Honestly, it's soft and drives shockingly well
For a very cheap vehicle.
for a car that everyone was like, I don't know if that's a good idea. It's turned out to be a pretty good idea so far. It definitely needs some front end work, as you can hear.
It's got some clunks.
Some clunks, but coils, hydros, all the diff, like this thing will shred.
So it feels juicy. It's obviously not a perfect night out. Good for getting some skids, but not
We're not in
ideal.
Mexico.
No, we're not in Mexico here.
Yeah, it feels kind of like a BMW, like heavy, but like has grunt, more grunt for sure. But it's cool, man. I think it'll be an interesting experiment. Be a good little seat time car.
Sick.
This turned out to be the best worst purchase ever.
We'll see. We're gonna have some fun though. Like we're gonna dial it in, basically turn into a little fun car for all the boys and girls. Maybe teach the ladies how to drive stick. That would be actually kind of funny, but kids for the kids. Well, next video you'll see kind of the parts I'm gonna get for it. We've got a few things on the way, but obviously it's not gonna be a huge parts haul. It's just the basics to make this thing a good little drift car.
Cool.
Just fuel and tires. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah, keep it simple, keep it fun. That's probably gonna do it for this week's video. Any Genesis boys out there, hit us up if there's anything we should know to not blow this up or screw it up. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Helps us buy more dumb shit like this.
Peace out.
Peace.